All right, welcome to another edition of Monticello Minute Unscripted. I'm your host, Keith Wallace, and as always, we're filming here in the Advanced Printing Company studio, just off the square in beautiful downtown Monticello. We are sponsored in this portion by Arkansas Superior Federal Credit Union, and today, as my special guest, is Miss Kathy Lou Engelkes. Welcome to the show, Kathy Lou.
Glad to be here.
Now, Kathy Lou is on here today because she is a member of a nonprofit organization in our community called Monticello Second Chance for Dogs. What they do is they're a shelter and foster organization that helps mistreated and dumped and dogs that are in the community that don't have anywhere else to go. They take them in, help them get healthy, and then help work to find them homes. Kathy Lou, for our viewers who may not know you or may not know about Monticello Second Chance for Dogs, can you give us some history about how long have y'all been around?
Well, 10 years. We really started this in 2015 all together. Now, Debbie Irwin and Kelly Gwynn first started, and they were helping a girl over at Warren, and they both decided, why aren't we doing this in Monticello? So that's when they came to some of us, and we started our own group over here.
Well, that's wonderful, and I'm a dog lover, and I know a lot of our viewers are too. There's nothing more better to me than a good, loyal, happy pet. I grew up with always having dogs, and one reason I grew up always having dogs is because we lived in a county, and people constantly threw dogs out, and they would come to our house, and my mom and dad would put a feed bowl out for them, and we had a good family pet. A lot of times dogs that are mistreated or thrown away end up being the best pets you could ever have.
You're right.
And it just takes someone to take them in and love them. And I know y'all love dogs. I know several people in your organization, and they're all very passionate, and they're very loving, and they're very caring about animals. And I think that's amazing, and definitely the type of spirit we should all have. Obviously, down in southeast Arkansas, there's not really any kind of breeding regulations that I'm aware of, and you have a lot of pet owners who aren't good pet owners.
Right.
And they allow dogs to breed, and they don't have anywhere to do with them, and the animal ends up suffering. And that's kind of where y'all come in.
Right.
Y'all are always there to help, always there to take in a dog, and like I said, get it back to a healthy condition, and then find it a home. Can you tell me some of the resources that y'all been able to come up with to find dogs homes?
Well, the biggest reason I got into this is because, and I've always saved dogs. I mean, since I was a little kid, and when I've been a groomer for over 30 years.
Yeah.
So I was always finding homes for dogs, but it was, I don't know if you remember, there was a Humane Society here, Ruby Burton and Della Smith.
Okay.
They started it, but they ended up with like 30 dogs in their backyard because they didn't have any place to send them. They were just giving them away around here. And when I found out that we could send these dogs to Northern Rescues, I thought, wow, we really can save them, And so we were given stipulations. We had we had about 3 or 4 different places that we sent to. Our main place we send our puppies is in Connecticut, and the rescue we work with there is called Pack Leaders, and they have just been great with us ever since. And we send them wonderful puppies, but there's stipulations. You've got to keep them long enough to get 2 shots, and they have to
have the vaccination.
Yes, and be wormed, and there's certain things that can come up I've never heard of that puppies could have, but we found out all this stuff.
Diseases, like parvo and stuff like that.
Yes.
You have to treat them for.
So all of it boils down to it costs money. Our vet bills can run $70,000 a year, so we're constantly having fundraisers, things like that.
Animal care is expensive, especially when you're taking care of so many.
Right.
And if I'm understanding correctly, the reason the northern states became such a good outlet was because they have, a lot of these states have very strict animal owning and breeding laws.
Yes.
So they don't have they need dogs, so it kind of worked out to where we had an abundance of dogs that were being neglected down here, and they had abundance of families wanting to have dogs up there. So hey, let's put something together and let's help each other out.
They do have lots of laws, and they're enforced too.
Gotcha.
And so it makes a big difference.
Oh, of course.
On what we do.
Well, I think that's great. And of course, you know, anybody who would like to adopt a dog locally, y'all do local adoptions
we do.
as well.
We do.
And I've got a little dog that was somebody thrown out. I found him living down in the woods, down a gravel road by my house. And I took him in, and I don't know what my life would be without him. You know, if I didn't have little Frank to see every day, my life would just be in shambles. So I know if you want a dog and you want to be a pet owner, you know, Monticello Second Chance for Dogs are the people to talk to, because they've got loving, great animals that would make perfect pets, and they foster them and keep them, and like, you know, they make sure they're loved and they make sure they're healthy. So when you go to see them and find a pet, they're ready to be adopted. So definitely want to remember Monticello Second Chance for Dogs if you're in the market for a pet. They, of course, have a Facebook page that you can look them up on, Monticello Second Chance for Dogs. Right. I think it's got a little spelling there. It'd be fur dogs.
F-U-R.
Right? F-U-R, yeah. Mm-hmm. So definitely go on their Facebook page and check them out.
You can message us through that, too.
They do Messenger, so if you, there's several needs they have as well. If you wanted to help this organization, they're always in need of fosters.
Yes,
you know, they've got so many people who open up their homes and take in these dogs, but they always need more. There's such a huge need for fosters in our community. If you feel like you could be a foster and help out Monticello Second Chance for Dogs, go to their Facebook page, shoot them a message, and let them know you can help. Also, it's just like Kathy Lou mentioned earlier, they have a lot of needs financially. You know, they've got to buy food for these dogs. They have to buy veterinary supplies. They have to take them to the vet, wormer, and just the facilities that they have to have and maintain to foster the dogs. All takes money. So if you'd like to donate something, again, go to the Monticello Second Chance for Dogs Facebook page and see how you can help financially, volunteer-wise. Just anything. If you love dogs and you want to help with this effort, they're the people to see for sure. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the organization?
Well, I know a lot of people are they kind of take a step back when they talk about fostering, because they know they're going to get attached.
That's right.
And we've all foster failed, every one of us. But I know my limitations. Mm-hmm. And I know that if I want that dog to have a good home,
that's right.
I want it to go. And I've not had, well, I had 2 bad experiences up there, and I would call them not that bad, mm-hmm. but bad enough but the lady that we deal with in Connecticut, not that rescue, she went and took care of it. Mm. And so I don't have any problems sending my dogs up there, because I know they vet all the people, mm-hmm. and they go to wonderful homes. I talk to them personally. They mm-hmm. call me to ask me questions, and so I know they get very good homes. And they, like I was telling him, the laws are so strict up there, and it's cold up there. So if animal control officer sees a dog out for so long, he gives them a ticket. Really? They can't be outside because it's too cold. I see. So they're strict on that kind of thing. And also the fostering, I do tell people about, like with puppies, it's kind of like if you're a grandma and you know you can love on your grandkids, but then you get to send them home. That's the way these puppies are. You get some of that puppy breath and send them on.
Well, that's a good point. You know, dogs really all they require is love.
Yes,
and they are going to love you right back.
Yes.
It's a win-win if you give some time to and become a pet owner. Especially, you have to be a responsible pet owner, but right. Becoming a pet owner is something that brightens your whole life up when you get the love and loyalty from a good dog. So anyway, that's about all I know to talk about. Just help out Monticello Second Chance for Dogs if you can.
Yes.
Give Kathy Lou a shout on the Facebook page, and let's support this local nonprofit organization, and let's help our little four-legged friends out there.
Yes.
We're going to be right back after this commercial break with our special guest artist, Ryan Copico. And we're back. My special guest today is Ryan Copico. Hi, welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate you.
Most of y'all know Ryan, I'm sure. But he's going to tell us a little bit about himself for people who might not know Ryan. Can you just kind of walk us through your story, Ryan? Just kind of tell us where you're from and how you came to Monticello.
It's a long story, but I'll try to give you the drive-through version of it. But
okay.
No, I was born and raised in Ontario, Canada.
Oh, wow.
Lived there for at least the first part of my life, and ended up here in Monticello. I guess it was around 2004, 2005. I actually moved
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago, and I actually moved to Warren, Arkansas in 1998 and worked at the school district there for a few years. Ended up getting my degree here at UAM.
Yeah.
And then ended up, my first job was at Monticello Middle School.
Yeah.
I was a 7th and 8th grade teacher there at the time, and met my wife Rebecca through some mutual friends at the school, and yeah, got married 2008, and then we've got 4 kids.
Well, of course, I've known all that about you, and I thought I knew you pretty well, but I did not know until right now that you grew up in Canada. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I knew your passion for education, and that's what brought you here.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've met your family. So, but that's something new. Fun fact I just learned.
Yeah, born and raised in Canada, about 45 minutes from the Detroit, Michigan border.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
tiny little town called Leamington, Ontario. It's actually funny because that's where the Heinz ketchup headquarters in Canada is, and so Leamington was the tomato capital of the world, is what they say. But anyway, and then I moved to Warren, which is the pink tomato capital.
Of course.
And so both towns had a tomato festival, and anyway, that's kind of a fun fact, I guess. But
Well, I'm so glad that you decided to come to Monticello 20 years ago, because you have really become such a driving force in our community. You know, I'm so happy. Every time I'm turning around, I see something going on, whether it's the Food Truck Friday event that you host and promote and come up with, or whether it's something else that's promoting Monticello. You're always seem to be right at the center of it, helping to promote all the good things that go on in our community. One thing that I feel like our community is very blessed with is a lot of good church presence. You know, we've got several very active churches here in Monticello that do a lot and are very community-based. And probably one of the leaders in that aspect is Pauline, which I know that's where you are employed with Pauline Church. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do with Pauline?
yeah, so it's a little bit of everything. One of our former pastors used to call me the minister of miscellaneous. So there's a little bit of everything, but my main roles are I get to pastor our children's ministry.
Wow.
I do some associate pastor work, so some admin type stuff, and lots of things in the community, get to organize mission trips, that kind of thing. And so
wow, that's big.
It's a little bit, wear a few hats, but we have we've got a great church and lots of really neat things going. And
Minister of Miscellaneous.
yeah, Minister
like
of
that.
Miscellaneous. It's a lot of words to put on a business card, but
Well, of course, you know, Pauline's always opened their doors to so many community events. You know, they've hosted stuff for Discovery Skills Center out here. Just had the prom, I think, last week or week before. And of course, plenty of other things too. Sure. And I know y'all have some stuff coming up in the summertime that you have a lot of stuff for the kids to come in, a vacation Bible school, stuff like that. Do you know about any, when that kind of stuff might be?
Yeah, in fact, a couple of weeks from now, we've got, we call it VBX.
Okay.
It's June the 2nd through the 4th, and it's been a really neat thing. We kind of shifted it a few years ago to more of a kind of a camp-based Bible school, and so kids get to choose from different interest-based camps. So we've got like an outdoor skills camp, we've got a cooking camp, extreme sports. So just, you know, the kids get to choose based on their interests rather than kind of the traditional Bible school, although we do have the traditional Bible school for the younger guys. It really ends up being a neat thing, because even our volunteers get to sign up for an area they're interested in or passionate about, or they have skills in. And so yeah, it's a really neat, fun time. We'll do it, like I said, June 2nd through the 4th.
June 2nd through the 4th.
6 to 8:15 p.m. And, you know.
Sounds like, that sounds amazing. Yeah, something that definitely any child would love.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. That we've got a great group of leaders that kind of organize some pretty creative things, where we've got some guys that are going to teach some woodworking and those little Pinewood Derby cars, engineer some of those. And so just a lot of fun. Like I said, just a good community event, open to any kid age 4 years old on up to 5th grade.
Awesome.
And so right here after school, parents looking for places for their kids to go and participate. encourage
that was
people to come
always,
on out.
growing up, that was a staple of my summer, was the Vacation Bible
Yeah.
School. So I'm glad that, y'all offer that, and that anybody can come take part in that. You do so much for the community. Of course, Thanksgiving, I know y'all prepare a lot of plates at Thanksgiving for the community, and I know I've been to several events out there that you've hosted. It's very community-minded. We're very fortunate, in my opinion, to have churches that are so community-minded and so
Yeah.
open to all our citizens and residents.
Yeah.
You talked about missions. Can you tell us a little bit about some recent missions that you've helped plan that Pauline's done, and maybe if there's one coming up? Or
Yeah, we've had, that's one of the things that kind of drew me to Pauline when I was teaching school. They, kind of, as I got to know people there, they would talk about mission trips they were going on, and that's really how I got plugged in and involved. That and church league basketball. But anyway, we got involved in missions, and just recently had opportunity to go to Kenya, and we've been there several times. And last year went to India and Nepal, which has felt like a once in a lifetime kind of experience.
Yes.
But yeah, I love to travel, love to see kind of different cultures, and of course use that opportunity to share the gospel and share Jesus' love with the people around us.
That's
But God's kind of opened some doors for us to go. We've got a team heading to Belize next month. We've got a team that's going to be in Indiana for a week doing some city community outreach type things, free car washes, Bible schools, that kind of thing. We're helping a church plant up there. End of July, we have a team going to Kenya.
Wow, so
back
much
to
going
Kenya.
on.
Yeah, that's just this summer, and then we've got another trip to Nepal in the fall. And so, Lord willing, we'll.
I see so much that Pauline provides for our community, but to see how much outreach that y'all have through the mission work that you plan, I think that's amazing. For sure.
Well, and that was one of the things I say when you're saying that about the community, Keith. We feel like it's important for our communities to thrive.
Oh, cool.
And so for us to not just do our thing, but to be partners in the community with so many other great churches, other community groups. And so we do really love using our facilities to host other organizations, people that are trying to do really great things in our community. And
I remember when you organized the first Food Truck Friday. It was up there at Pauline, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to give you credit for some of that, Keith, because the whole Tuesday is barbecue day. I know you were slinging good barbecue, but more often than not, you're using that barbecue to raise money for other people, to raise awareness for nonprofits, and really and truly, I want to give you props on that,
you're
Keith,
the guest
for sure.
here today. Let's talk about you.
I love it. Thanks for leading the way.
I think, like I said before, I think a lot of you, and I like what you personally do as far as always promoting, always working to strengthen our community and and help fill the needs that it has. But I also definitely want to highlight and promote our church organizations because they do so much for our community and are so community based. Growing up in the South, South Arkansas, churches have always been such a big part of everybody's life, and I think we're very blessed here in Drew County and Monticello to have strong church, strong faith relationships. So glad to hear about all that stuff coming up. Makes me excited. I hope everybody out in the TV land is picking up on that. Definitely want to check out that VBX.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to get in contact with you or get in contact with the church, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, you can find us obviously in all the social media platforms. In fact, the registration for VBX is on Facebook.
Gotcha.
There's an online link there. But yeah, I'm easily contacted through social media for sure.
And of course, y'all have services weekly at the church.
Yep.
So I guess on Sunday mornings and
Sunday mornings, Wednesday nights. Yeah, Sunday mornings we've got 3 services at 8:30, 9:40, and 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And then Wednesday nights usually at 6 o'clock. We are taking a little break here, a couple weeks leading into the summer, but yeah, we've got lots of great things going on. And
you'll have a streaming type platform too.
Yeah, we stream our 9:40 and 11 o'clock services on YouTube live, and then also Facebook.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it's been great having the Minister of Miscellaneous here with us.
Thanks.
And it's been always a pleasure to visit with you. I hope to have you on the show some more because, like I said, you're so plugged in. You always have so much going on, positive promotion, and I love that about you. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for coming on and sharing some of this information with us. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Keith.
All right, well, that's our show. Once again, I'd like to thank our special guest, Kathy Lou Engelkes with Monticello Second Chance for Dogs, and Ryan Copico, the Minister of Miscellaneous, talking about Pauline Church. Once again, also thankful to our sponsors, Arkansas Superior Federal Credit Union and Monticello Chevrolet GMC. We'll be back again next week, bringing you another great episode. We thank you again for tuning in, and we hope you're enjoying what we're doing. We look forward to seeing you next week.